everyone. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and welcome back to Build. The sixth and final season, sad, of Power premieres on August 25th, where we will finally see what happens to Ghost and his network. Lela Loren joins us today, and she plays Angela Valdez, an attorney whose relationship with Ghost got even more complicated after she took a bullet for him. Did she survive? We'll find out soon, but first, here's a trailer.
Let me ask you a question. When you look in the mirror, what do you even see?
I tried so hard. I can't change what I did, but I can change what I do now.
You couldn't even be there for his family at the time we needed him most.
How would you feel if something really bad happened to him?
To be honest, I don't know.
James, your ship is going down. I ain't going down with it.
We're done with Ghost.
Why was Uncle Tommy after you?
As long as you keep rocking with him, then I can't trust you.
Help me get Ghost.
This is what I wanted.
If I could help you, I'm staying. You made this mess, you fix it.
This is war.
Ghost, he's out there. You gonna run or you gonna stand and fight?
Everything I've lost is because of you. My home, my family, my life.
Sometimes the people that you trust the most can turn on you with no warning.
It's the feds that you need to be worried about.
Everything you do is always for you. You lost me a long time ago, Ghost.
Did you really think I wasn't gonna find out what you did?
I didn't kill her, Angie. I didn't kill her.
You will.
Please put your hands together for Lela Loren. How you doing?
I'm great.
Does that trailer stress you out as much as it stresses me out?
I think it gives everyone a heart attack.
Right?
Yeah, a little agita.
Yes. And you know, I have to mention that I didn't see Angela in the trailer. So,
But who was that at the end?
so what? Oh, did I miss it just at the very end?
You did.
Did I? Did I blink and miss
You
it?
guys, tell her what she missed.
Did I? Oh man, I was talking to you. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because we do know at the end of last season she got shot by Tommy. Can we just go back for a second and just talk about the reaction that the fans had to that scene? Because I remember standing up out of my seat and gasping.
I think the fans had the perfect reaction. Everyone was shocked and awe, and like all of a sudden, a lot of people that hated Angela were like, "I hated her, but not that bad." And there were some people that were also like fully doing like high fives. It was a whole, there was a whole like little, round robin of how people respond.
Isn't that interesting? Because Angela does get a hard time, yet Tommy is constantly murdering people. And, like people.
I know, but he
love
makes
him.
it so lovable and funny.
People are like, he's so vulnerable and emotional.
I
Like he's
know.
a mass murderer.
Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that funny?
So where do we pick up in the final season?
So the great thing about we pick up right where the action leaves off. So just like every other season, there's not a minute, just boom, right there. And it's really fantastic because Tommy really did mean to shoot Ghost. And for Tommy, that was really important because the last time he tried to shoot Ghost, he couldn't go through with it. He had the trigger, he couldn't pull the trigger. And this time he did. And in his mind, he did shoot Ghost. Fate had other plans. And what I also love is that in that moment, you see really Angela's love because you can't think about that. That is just a split gut reaction. And by her action, you see how much she loves Jamie.
Especially given the scene where she had just sort of tried to cut things off again.
Right? Yeah, and it's like, well,
She has to take a bullet. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This woman has been through a lot. We do know that she survives the shot, but then how do you think that will impact her relationship with Tommy? Because she saw him do it.
I mean, it's gonna be a little uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Tommy, for putting you in that awkward position." Yeah. So it's gonna set season 6. It's like the catalyst that just sets season 6 off on that pace that makes you want to have a heart attack.
Because her 24-hour window was also up. So I know you can't tell us what decision she makes, but how much did that event really, you think, dictate the decisions that she makes as far as, ratting out people or not ratting.
Well, and does it matter at this point? We'll have to see how all of that plays out.
I know. I don't actually want you to give me answers, but I want answers because I'm so nervous.
It's such a human thing. Yeah.
Let's talk about her and Jamie.
Okay.
Ghost as we call him, but Jamie as Angela calls him. Where do you think they are? Because as I just said, she was trying to finally just say, this isn't gonna work. But now she's sort of drawn back in, and I can see that he's gonna be fighting for her. And so how do we see their journey sort of playing out?
Well, what's really interesting at the end of season 5, when she asks him if he murdered Terry Silver, and he says, no, of course not. Angela knows that he's lying, and she lets him. And I think there's a piece of her that's just surrendering to the fact that she loves this man. But then there's also a piece of her that's quite kind of terrified by why he asked her to the high school in the first place. And he's questioning her about this witness, and that's scary. So where are they? They still got to work it out.
Because she didn't want any more lies, but yet he lied to her again. And then also you have to look at why he killed Silver. Was it for the legal reasons or because he didn't like seeing him with Tasha, right? So then there's that extra love triangle.
Right, which none of it, I mean, I think what makes Power so addictive and resonates so much also with the audiences is that y'all have way more information than the characters have. So it's like watching a horror film. You guys are 2 steps ahead. And so, Angela doesn't really know any of these ins and outs yet. And it's,
It's good. It's good. And I love that in this final season, we're getting extra episodes. So there's going to be 15, I believe, right? Which is great. So we have 5 more than usual to wrap this up. And it's going to be in 2 parts, right? So
yeah, Power will air sort of like normal for 10 episodes. And then there will be a break. And in the new year, we will get the back 5.
So what was your reaction when you saw those back 5 scripts?
That it was courageous and gutsy, and that there hasn't been a TV story that's done this narratively, and that people are, hopefully they love it, but even if they don't, they're gonna respect it.
Did you have any gasp moments or when
Always,
you right?
always, it's Power, always. Even as an actor on there, they don't hold back.
Do you guys do table reads?
We do.
So what was it like kind of going into this final season knowing that, each of those table reads, that was like closing a chapter, like that was sort of the end? Did they get more and more emotional or?
I think the first one and the last one, the rest you're just in the blur of work and you're getting through it. And then the last one is realizing like this is an end of an era. No. And going back, and we like to be in denial that time isn't passing, and then you see pictures of what you look like, and you're like, oh my goodness, I was a baby. We were all babies.
And the kids on the show were actually babies, right? Like Tariq, when you go back and look, you're like, oh my God, you were.
Children just shatter our fantasies. They shatter our fantasies of time not passing. You're like, can you stop growing? Well, and Power really, in the world of the characters, I believe it's only been 6-ish, 8-ish months. Yeah. So it's compressed time. So for everyone, it's been 6 years. In the world of, Angela, Ghost, Shami, Tasha, Tariq, it's only, it's not even a full year.
So many loyalties have shifted, and that's crazy.
And the criminal justice system works so fast.
So effective.
Yeah.
But that must be fun too, because I know, like, as an actor, you always have like certain scenes with Omari, and but last season we got to see you in a scene with. We had Tommy, Tasha, Angela, and Ghost all in a scene together. I never thought that moment would happen.
Right.
So how fun was it that you got to a point where all these stories have collided?
It was so much fun. It was because we never get to see each other when we're in opposite worlds. So getting to work with Joe and Naturi so much, and also Proctor, and having these strange alliances and figuring out, well, how would Angela and Tommy relate? And and I thought it was really funny because it brings them back to their high school sort of rivalry, and Angela is legitimately scared of him. You know, she loses her lawyerly cool. It's like, Tommy, what are you doing? You know, so it's always fun when Angela loses it a little bit.
Also, like low key sending notes, like, should we just kill her? So she has the right to be afraid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the stakes are really high. They pulled a gun on her. You know, in her own apartment. Right. Yeah.
What has it been like acting with Hattori? Because again, you guys have this love triangle, and you know, in the beginning seasons, you guys weren't really in scenes a lot, but then we've seen you guys interact
being
more.
forced, the characters being forced to work together for this higher goal, trying to stay out of prison, is really why they had to work together, whether they trusted each other or not. And it was beautiful in that you see these characters start to develop a mutual respect for one another. Yeah. Because Tasha begins to see Angela. I also think in some ways pity her, because Tasha is getting more and more free of Ghost's grip, and she starts to see what happens. She's looking at Angela and seeing, you know, how far Angela's going, and it's all in service of this man who doesn't really give back. Never. Yeah, I would say Ghost shows up with a nickel and wants $1 back. Yeah.
Can we talk about the psychology of Angela? Because she is this really smart, really powerful, dynamic woman, yet she does sacrifice really everything for this man. What sort of work do you do to get into that mindset and to understand who she is?
That goes back to the question that I had to ask myself to crack Angela was, why did she leave? When she was 14 years old, why did she leave? It's not the simple answer if she got a scholarship and got to go to school. Why did she leave the way she did, where she was so in love with this boy and she never calls him ever again? And answering that question gives you an insight to how someone so intelligent can be so blind in this area. And part of it was she cut off love. To free herself from poverty, to get out and to move ahead, she cut love off. And when you're in that place, ambition, success, moving up the workplace ladder is a great antidote to the loneliness and the emptiness that you feel inside. And so when it comes rushing back in the form of this man who was this boy that you had all of these hopes and dreams for, and when she meets him, he looks like he's the manifestation of that, it comes surging back with a vengeance. But she also hasn't cultivated, it hasn't matured because she's cut it off. So that way she loves is still 16, even despite how intelligent she is. Because there's limits. How many people are so book smart, but common sense is just nothing? So this is an example of that.
With that said, then, do you think they're soulmates?
I think they're home, just like Tommy and Ghost are home for one another, because they're bonds that you made in childhood and you can't get away from them. And I think that's what makes, in some ways, I think Tommy, Ghost, and Angela are a very potent love triangle as well. Because could you imagine being kids on the play? You know, Tommy and Ghost were brothers, and then all of a sudden hormones kick in, and your best friend's falling in love with this other girl. And I bet you Angela was the girl that didn't let Tommy cheat off of her paper. She was, you know, hard like that. So Tommy probably hated her, you know. And so when she left, Tommy sees the devastation that Angela causes in his best friend, and he gets him back. So when she comes back later, he's like, oh no.
Now we see I love this kind of back thought, because now we see it all really playing out and how these loyalties can shift and how you don't really know who to trust or...
Trust doesn't matter because the stakes are so high. They're forced to work together to not go to jail. So whether I trust you or not is a moot point. Yeah.
Another new thing for this season is that 50 Cent is directing an episode.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us anything about what it was like to work with him as a director? Or...
He came with a hat, a director's hat. 50 has such a clear vision, and he comes from this world. I mean, Ghost is, in some ways, an amalgam of him and, as Courtney has said, her father. And so 50 has such a clear perspective, and it was so wonderful.
Did anybody like tease him, or were they very professional?
Nobody teases 50. Have you all not learned? Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, but I didn't know if people were like, I mean, look at his arms. I wouldn't mess with him.
Oh, I asked to wear his watch yesterday on my little bicycle arms, and I think his wristwatch fit me up here, and it was heavy. It's probably like the 2 pounds weights that I do at the gym, about the same. That's fair. Yeah.
And so those final days on set, can you just take me through what the vibe was like? You know, was it emotional? Was it serious? What was kind of the vibe?
Well, we're all doing work, and it's this, because our hours are really long and intense and everyone's tired, but then like your lower lip is starting to tremble. And what's really sweet is when you see some of our crew are manly men, gruff guys, and you start to see their softness come out. Yeah, it was really, really, really sweet. It's been a family, 6 years. It's a long time, you know?
Did you do anything to say goodbye to Angela?
I cut my hair.
Was that part of the decision? You just kind of wanted a fresh sort of start?
Yeah. You know, just a ritual of the next chapter. I don't want to say goodbye to Angela's clothes, though. I really want some of those clothes are amazing.
Did you get to take anything from the set?
I got to abscond with a little vase, but the clothes, I'm begging, I'm hoping.
Wait, why the vase?
Because that's the only thing I could put under.
The only thing that fit in a tote bag?
Yeah, I was just like, no one's going to see this.
Oh, that's amazing. So what does it feel like for you as an actor? You have this role that you can just like really dig in for 6 years, and now you're going to be looking at different projects and taking on other roles. Is there something that you're really excited to tackle after Power, or just like a different genre or role?
Yes, I think as an actor, it's always scary to really have a clear sense of what you want to do because you don't know what's coming down the pike, and I don't entirely feel in control of it. I would love to do something period in a corset and maybe more light. A little lighter,
What do you
just
mean?
maybe. Like maybe, you know.
You don't want just like murders and drug and...
Well, either that or just go straight up Femme Nikita and murder everybody would be also really fun. Because Angela barely, she was, I would call her what, murder adjacent? Like she set up Mike Sandoval to get killed, but she didn't actually.
Accomplice.
Do you know how much fun it is to fake kill people on set? It's so much fun. You get to deal with blood and like knives and then go home and go to sleep.
Do you have a memorable day on set in that theme of like where it was like an extra bloody day and you're like, oh, this is...
Well, I do have a day where, do you remember when I shot, the actor's name is David Fumero, who's playing Mike Sandoval, and I come around and I shoot him, and that was really, shooting guns was really fun, except I was wearing stretchy jeans, and those aren't strong enough to have a gun tucked into your back to hide it. And the fake prop guns on set still fire loads, so they're heavy, they're metal. And so the jeans couldn't handle the weight of it, and it kept sliding down my back and giving me a gun diaper butt. Like it wouldn't stay. And so we're trying to figure out like how to do this. And, you know, as part of my Mexican heritage, I'm very resourceful. I'm like MacGyver. I can fix things in a second. So there was a plastic banana in Angela's fruit bowl. Wow. So in that scene, I actually have a plastic banana in my pants. That was amazing.
I'm going to go back and watch it just for that.
Yeah, and then we hid the gun so it looked like, but no.
On a similar note, do you have a favorite scene in the 6 seasons or one that you always will remember? Other than the gun diaper butt.
The gun diaper butt scene? There's a lot of scenes. The one that comes to mind, there's 2 that come to mind. Under the Whale in the Natural Museum of History, we had to get there at 3:30 in the morning to get there before, because we had to do it when they were closed. So that was really wonderful because I also love science and animals. And so getting to be in a museum after dark and getting to shoot this romantic kind of scene, you're falling in love with somebody, it was really beautiful. And I'll leave it with that one. That one I think is
That's a beautiful one. Well, I would keep talking to you more, but all I would want is just more answers from the final season that I
totally
know
get it.
Starz will not let you give me.
I know, but it's so close, you guys. It's so close. It's just around the corner.
We're so close.
Yeah.
We have a couple of questions, though, before we get out of here. What is the first one?
Hi. Well,
Hi.
that was my question. What was your favorite, I guess, scene throughout all the seasons to film? But I guess what's your favorite thing about playing Angela?
So Angela has all of these extremes to her that sometimes don't make sense. And so as an actor, trying to find the through line between that has been really satisfying and challenging. You know, how do you play a woman that's so intelligent and then makes such poor choices in the area of love? That's been really, really fun. And the other favorite part of Angela is getting to meet the actors that I've got and become friends with the actors that I work with, like Elizabeth Rodriguez, who plays Paz. Cooper Sachs is played by Shane Johnson, and while he's my foil on the show, he is hilarious and funny, and we went to the same college, which is super random. Quincy Bernstein, who plays Tamika, is an incredibly, incredibly phenomenally talented stage actress. On Power, you just get to see this much of what she's capable of. Sung Kang, of course, Joe Naturi Omari. I'm trying to, talk. So it just really getting to work with all these really incredible, talented people, And
I would imagine, too, getting to work with them and then having the time you've had, right? So over 6 seasons, really getting to explore all those dynamics and see who they are.
And seeing how everyone's lives have evolved from becoming parents to, getting to buy a home maybe for the first time or experiencing loss and joy. It's all of it. It's a life.
You forget that part of it, that like we see one thing on screen, but there's a whole
world
life
happening outside
really
of the
beautiful.
frame. Yeah.
Next question.
Hi.
Hi.
I've grown so much with Power. And I guess my main question is, does love conquer all? And I ask you that because I'm wondering all the losses that Angela has taken from Greg Knox to now getting shot. I want to know, is there a time in this season where Angela is finally going to choose her? Because she's chose to sacrifice for everybody else. Will she finally choose her?
Well, you're going to have to wait and see. I think that is the journey for all of us as women, isn't it? Yeah. To not close off to love and still choose us. It's such a hard calibration. Yeah. But I think playing Angela has made me less judgmental of getting sucked in by that, because it's really easy to stand back and be like, oh, I would never do it. And then when you're in that situation, really hard.
Thank you. That was a good question.
Thank you.
Because you can't really answer, because then you'd be giving it away. But I do hope that she gets some sort of, I don't know.
Something.
A win.
Yeah.
I hope she gets a win. And last one?
Hey, so you've been on my TV screen the last 13 years, and I was just wondering, what has been your favorite character that you played?
Oh. Angela has been my favorite. And then I really loved the character that I played on Lost. She was really fun. It was small, because it's all small parts before little, scenes here and there. But actually, I got to do a play in San Francisco at ACT. The playwright was Jose Rivera, and it was a character by the name of Flora. And the play was an homage to his mother and his father. And it took place in late 1940s, early 1950s Puerto Rico, and I loved her. Such a beautiful character.
What was the name of that play again?
Boleros for the Disenchanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Would you want to do more theater?
Oh, I love to do theater, yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what you do next, and I can't wait to see, I'm so nervous, how everything wraps up. I really am. I get really invested in characters, and it's always hard the final season to say goodbye, and I just know that you guys are going to keep us entertained until the very end. So
this season, yes, get ready.
We will get ready, and if you guys want to get ready, the 6th and final season of Power premieres on August 25th on Starz. Put your hands together for Lela Loren.
Thank you, guys.